top of the morning, top of the morning. Oh, no, it's not. See, look, I'm out. My time is all over the place. Yo, what's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Simone Raider. Welcome to tonight's show on the Simone Raider Show, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody up in there, man. Apologize to everybody on my Simone Raider Show channel, though. I know we didn't go live this morning, but we had to run it back with the night shows, and it was pretty cool. So we're going to kind of figure out our schedule moving forward. But I think the nights kind of work a little bit better for us, works better for me and my work schedule. So, hey, it is what it is, but shout out to the chat. Hey, and real quick, shout out to my boy Raider Cody. If you guys heard the instrumental, I had to use Raider Cody's just for I always liked it, but don't come at me with the copyrights those, because the Raiders were copywriting me for all those autumn wind intros that I was using. So it is what it is. Moving on, those I want to give a huge shout out to the chat one time for the one time, man. Well, I see Hentai up in here. I see Raider Diaz. I see he said made it to my favorite Raider show, man. I appreciate it. It was Brian Ortiz up in the building. We see Raider Diaz. I see Alaskan Raider. Okay, all the way from Alaska. Soja or so. Soldier 1 2 3 4 up in the building. Alex up in the building. Knock Andrew always up in the building. Cass, oh, we are here. We are live. Mad Vet Raider. We got Lance Green up in the building. Let's go. Like I said, we got a lot of people in here. We got some Raider news to talk about. We just want to come on live because we do on a daily, and we just want to talk with you guys. And we want to talk about some things that have been going around, whether it's with the Raiders, the NFL, and all the things that has to do with football. But without further ado, we got to bring on the big Oos, the honorary Oos, Joe Morley. How we feeling? How you doing, Oos?
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, I'm doing good. That Maxx Crosby thing blew up today, so that was all the news. But just hearing everybody and feeling that the Raiders are actually doing something right, and the Ravens are the Ravens are the shittier organization in that situation. So it feels
I know.
good. It feels good.
I'll take it when people can look at the Raiders and feel like, go do your thing. You guys did good. The Ravens, I don't know about y'all, but y'all definitely look like the weak team out of this whole situation. And it all stems from Maxx Crosby and the Russian episode. I know we talked about it last night, and we dove deep into a lot of things that we thought about it, even reacted to some of the clips. But in today's show, like where we're gonna talk about like everybody else that reacted to that, because I think everybody woke up and wanted to talk about it, give their 2 cents on the whole situation. But first things first, though, Oos, Joe Flacco, Oos, I forgot. I think we kind of touched up on it yesterday, but I guess a report from Jeremy Fowler today is it seems as if the Las Vegas Raiders are being viewed as the top option for veteran quarterback Joe Flacco. GM John Spytek has publicly expressed his interest on implementing a plan to have a veteran quarterback come in and mentor their future quarterback Fernando Mendoza. I mean, hey, we talked about it, and now it's good to hear that we seem like the top option for Joe Flacco. So, what are your thoughts on Joe Flacco? I think that I don't know if he's our top guy, but do you think that he's our top option right now, or is it still Kirk Cousins?
No, I think it could be Joe Flacco because Joe Flacco has shown that he can still play at a good level, and hell, the Browns traded for him, or no, the Browns traded him to the Bengals, and like 5 or 6 days later, he was already starting. I don't even think it was that. Like he was starting on a Thursday night and already playing at a high level. So he can show how to be a professional. He's been to the high, I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that he's been to the highest spot as a quarterback, MVP of the Super Bowl, or I don't know if he was the MVP, but he won the Super Bowl. And then he dropped all the way down where people wrote him off and thought he was done. And now he's back. So he could show you everything that does it. There's 3 names that come to mind when Raider fans are talking about quarterbacks, right? There's Joe Flacco, there's Kirk Cousins, and then there's Derek Carr. This is the more practical choice for the Raiders and the more realistic choice as the bridge quarterback, as that backup quarterback that he's not going to challenge Mendoza for anything. You know what I mean? He's viewed as that professional that can teach him how to be an NFL player and how to handle your daily life as an NFL player. That's the main thing you're looking for.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for me, like I said, I agree with you on all those aspects, and I think that Kirk Cousins and Joe Flacco seem like the likely options for the Raiders, and rightfully so, because they're both veteran guys, and I don't think that they're expecting to be the franchise guy for anybody for years. So I think the timeline works better with somebody like that. Whether you go Kirk Cousins, whether you go Joe Flacco, but you just said it too, and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Joe Flacco, even at his old age, is still getting it done. Not expecting him to be, going out there and throwing like over 5,000, 4,000 yards in a season, but seeing what he did last year, going to the Pro Bowl as well. Being a Pro Bowler is huge. Now in the NFL, so him making the Pro Bowl and just being that veteran, that mentor, and shout out to the chat. I think Warlock brought it up. He says, "I'm hearing that Flacco doesn't want to be a mentor." Well, you know what? He does. I guess if he doesn't want to be a mentor, he's still going to be a bridge quarterback nonetheless, and that's going to be his role for any team that he signs with. And I think that he be completely fine with that. And I would be down to bring him in over here. Like, what this kind of reminds me of, Us? It reminds me of the year the Raiders went out and got Matt Schaub, right? Before we brought in Derek Carr to be the guy moving forward. But like I said over and over again throughout the whole offseason, we already know that Fernando Mendoza is going to be our guy for the future, right? And whoever we bring as that veteran quarterback will be at least a starter for now. And I think it turns into a competition in the offseason. And I feel like the better man comes on top. And pause on that whole situation. But I I don't see your face on that. But yeah, I think that, whoever comes out of the offseason, like the better quarterback should be the starter moving forward. But do you think that it would matter or not, like whether or not he wants to be the mentor, or would that change your aspects on Joe Flacco?
I don't know where that would come from that Joe Flacco wouldn't want to do that because he's done it multiple times. He's already been in that role for many other teams, especially last year. Going into with Doug Gabriel and what they had in Cleveland, like he's already pretty much been that guy. So he's that fringe starter that's when you have that quarterback that's not really ready to accept the role and he can come in and do it. And the Raiders have already made it kind of clear. You've heard Tom Brady talk about it. You heard John Spytek about it, where they're not 100% sold on letting Fernando Mendoza start the season as the quarterback. So if Joe Flacco wants to start in the NFL, this is probably the best job out there that he can
Yeah,
have. Like,
yeah.
you're not going to go to Arizona. You're not going to go to Miami. You're not going to go to the Jets because they already picked up Geno Smith. So you're going to go somewhere. If he wants to actually play some games, this is probably the best option for him.
I think that stems from something that Joe Flacco was asked about last year, and I got it right here from when he was over there with the Browns. He said he views himself as a competitor first, not a coach, and he's been very vocal about his dislike for the mentor label. And yeah, I mean, I understand it. I guess like he doesn't want to be perceived as that, but I think for us fans, and I think for everybody in the media, we look at him as a mentor. I think he's just going to go out there and be a football player, and whatever it may be, who cares? You're going to be the bridge guy, like I said, wherever you go. And if you're coming over here to Las Vegas Raiders, we know that's going to be the role for him or any other quarterback that we bring in. Now, I know a lot of people in the chat right now. Some people are bringing. Well, somebody brought up Jared, Jerame. I don't even know. Am I saying it right? Jerome.
I know
He
what you're
says,
talking
"No, man, roll with AOC if Mendoza isn't ready to start." Now, AOC is an interesting topic as well, right? Because I don't know if you really call him a veteran or a mentor or some sorts, but he has been through the ringers for the last couple of years with this team with different regimes, and he continues to be a name that has been brought up multiple times. And I think seeing what he did last year, going from the offseason, everybody already wrote off AOC, but the first game that he comes in and plays and starts, or yeah, the one game that he comes in, he wins, right? So maybe just maybe he could be a guy that we bring in. But I think even with AOC, we still need to look for a veteran quarterback to come in from free agency. I think that's a given, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so because I mean AOC's still learning on his own right now. He's still trying to do his thing, and this is what his fourth year going into, and every year this is another new offensive coordinator for him again. So this dude's trying to learn too. He's trying to. This only benefits AOC when you're bringing in somebody like this. It's always good to have a veteran quarterback in that room.
Yeah. It, it, and the crazy thing is, like with ALC, is that there's still going to be fans out there that do believe that ALC should be the guy. Maybe we don't have to draft Fernando Mendoza number one overall, right? Like, if okay, let me ask you this, though. if you were the GM, like put everything else aside, because we know that the Raiders right now they want Fernando Mendoza. I think that's a given. But you, as the GM, Joe Spytek, right, with the number one overall pick, would you be okay with not drafting Fernando number one and just going forward with somebody like AOC or maybe bringing Joe Flacco in for a year?
No, not now. Not at this point. Not after what you've already done for free agency. You've already set yourself up to draft Fernando Mendoza.
Mm.
Before free agency, if you would have asked me the question, we would have had different discussions, and then we could have set done a couple things. Hell no.
Oh damn! Okay, you good? You good?
See, even my
We gotta do that again. It's because who's over here breaking up?
no, I was like, even the internet was like, hell no, that's a dumb question. Like,
So what kind of question is that? You know what?
like,
Screw their Wi-Fi.
yeah, they was like,
No, but okay, but
now,
answer that question again. Just to so the people hear.
before free agency, if you would have asked me the question, we would have probably could have gone a different route. Now the Raiders are built for Fernando Mendoza. They're built for a rookie quarterback to come in. And if you told me that you were going to go sign Joe Flacco, that's going to be our start, totally against everything that the Raiders have been doing. Now Malik Willis would have been a different sign. Like if you would have signed Malik Willis and said we're going to go with him and roll with him and the younger guy and try that out and then draft accordingly, that would have been a different route. But Joe Flacco, no. Dude, I'd pull my phone out right now, do a hate video. I'd be so pissed off.
Well, hey, it's glad to have you back, Goose. But Joe, everybody in the chat. But like the whole Joe Flacco thing. Shout out to the chat. Some people are for it, some people are not for it. Natural says Flacco is old as fuck. He better sign on and retire. John Rader says I'll take AOC better than Flacco. Okay. Linda asks, can you sign Carr as a consultant and bypass the New Orleans contract? No. Wait. No, I don't. Well, we'd have to trade for him first, and then I don't know about anything else after that.
But the car, what
If
was that right?
it says, can you sign Carr as a consultant and bypass the New Orleans contract?
I don't know. I think you can. I don't know if you could sign him, but you could bring him into your camp because I remember we did it with Calvin Johnson while he
I
was.
remember that year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he can come in, but I don't know if he can actually sign like a contract.
Yeah, because he's still under contract with the Saints, right? Even if you wanted him as like a, I don't know, quarterbacks coach or something like that, he'd have to be traded.
No, as a quarterback coach, that's a different thing. That's a whole different.
Okay, so
If
he
you
could
want
be
him as
able.
like a coach, yeah, that's like he's done with football and he's moving on to a new career. Yeah, that's different.
Okay, maybe it's an I don't know. Maybe it's an option, but I think the way the Raiders have been hiring everybody, I don't think that they're really looking for a quarterbacks coach when you basically got two quarterbacks coaches and
And Tom Brady ain't bringing Carr back. Like, come on, guys,
yeah,
come
I don't
on.
think AOC as a coach maybe.
You sticking with that motherfucker? You
Oh, so
sticking?
you smoking and saying not to draft Mendoza and start ALC or Fly? No, I'm just asking the question, Raider Jivy. I gotta ask these questions because you never know. Like, I wanted to put it in his shoes. Like, with the moves that we made right now, would you be okay with moving forward with maybe a veteran quarterback this year and the next year draft a quarterback? I don't know, but me, if it were up to me, who's Spytek? I'm drafting Fernando. I'm running to that podium like yesterday.
Well, okay, but yeah, but say the Jets make you some crazy offer, and you're walking away with two, and whatever the number two and whatever the Jets have, like their two round picks. Maybe you're walking away with their first three picks in the draft, right? Their first pick in the second round as well. Like that would be some crazy off the wall, and you're like, oh damn, we might have to do this.
Yeah.
Do you pivot off Fernando and you go, okay, we'll take Ty Simpson later on with one of our picks, and now we'll get some other players with it. I don't ever see it happening. I think the Raiders are sold on Fernando
Yeah.
Mendoza. Even the Jets GM has talked about it that hey, he calls the Raiders every day, and John Spytek ain't gonna budge from it. Raiders know where
Mm-mm.
they're going, but we've seen with Maxx Crosby, you never know what happens in this NFL. If somebody could go absolutely nuts and offer you that big crazy deal,
Yeah.
and what does somebody say? Two first and next year's first from them, and maybe no. I think it would have to be more than that. I want their
Well,
two
yeah.
first. I want their first next year. I want their second this year. Like I want
Oh,
more.
okay. My question. Okay, real quick before I read this comment though. Is like say if two owners agree on a trade package, right? For picks, right? We just trade picks. Could they trade right now or no? They can, right? If
For draft
they
picks?
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, you can trade right now.
If I what makes it like how do you solidify that? Can I trade it today and then I have cold feet like 2 weeks later and be like, I'll take my picks back.
No, no,
It's not
no.
official until the NFL draft is.
Yeah, that one's different. Draft picks for draft picks. No, it's different. Yeah,
Okay,
so you can
so
trade draft picks.
yeah, okay. Oh, shout out to Raider Jimmy Barbecue again, but he says I think that's the only way that the Raiders do not draft Mendoza. He says the only way we wouldn't draft Mendoza is if Brady is coming out of retirement. I think
This
if Brady was,
weekend, this weekend, Brady's playing, right?
is it this weekend?
I think it's this weekend.
Oh shoot! I know you sent me the thing. I didn't know if it was like a press conference or something or a game already. Damn, I didn't know that. But hey, Tom Brady suiting up, mate. Hey, if Tom Brady comes out of okay, let me ask that question. That's a good one. If Tom Brady was to come out of retirement and says that he wants to play for the Raiders and be that veteran quarterback right now, are you skipping on Fernando or no?
No, because what I mean, well,
Maybe
if
not.
he's coming back, he's coming back for a reason. So I mean, he's the owner of the team. It would have to be Tom
I,
Brady going, "I'm coming back because I feel good in this team." But uh, but then what do you do after he's done? Like, you still got to come up with that backup plan. Like, you still got to come for a reason. Like, so no,
yeah,
I think you're still. I think even if Tom Brady does come back, he's like, I'm gonna be this mentor. Like nobody else is good enough to mentor him, but me. Like,
yeah.
but Tom Brady is never coming out of retirement because Fox overpaid. You want to talk about overpaying? Fox overpaid him, and he's making ridiculous amount of
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
So he would
yeah,
never give up that Fox contract.
yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, so somebody said that they got to trade all those picks into their firstborn, and then we'll probably think about it. Okay, so thinking about like the draft picks and stuff like that. According to Adam Schefter, the Cleveland Browns have submitted a rule that would allow teams to trade draft picks up to 5 years out instead of just three. Now, does that I feel like that kind of changes the landscape of a lot of things moving forward because there's going to be a lot of teams that don't care about the 2030 draft, right? That will be like, oh, I'll trade that pick. Let's go get a certain guy here and there. But what's your thoughts on that about possibly extending the years about the years that we could trade out.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
You're not for it?
Hell no.
Why not?
No, this because you're not only going to get yourself fired as a GM, you're going to get the next GM. You're going to set up the next GM for failure too because you're going to make some dumb trade and you're going to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to trade 3 picks to you for right now. 3 first round picks and some picks in like, 3-5 years from now." And then when the next guy takes over the job because the trade that you made was so stupid, that you're just setting up. All it's going to do, like the Cleveland Browns are the dumbest team to even offer. I would think like a top team, like a good team, would be offering this because they think they could pry on a crappier team like the Cleveland Browns to make these trades. But why Cleveland is offering this? Why Cleveland is coming up with this rule is just beyond me because it makes absolutely no sense for bad teams to want to trade more draft picks later on down the road. Absolutely no sense.
But I feel like it'd be hella entertaining, and maybe they're thinking for the future, right? They're probably they want to do this because they want to acquire more picks in the future, right? Like for a team like them, or maybe the Raiders, right? If we're building for the future, do you think that it would go well for us? Like, hey, if we trade Max Crosby away, we get 4 first round picks. I don't know. I'm not okay. That's probably a little too far fetched, but I'm just saying like if I'm a GM right now and I'm playing chess, not checkers, right, and I'm thinking about the future, I think somewhat of what like OKC did, right? Like you're stacking those picks up for the future, and when that time comes, I mean, it sucks for the teams that are giving it away, but for the teams that are getting it and are actually rebuilding and building a franchise or a culture with a lot of young players, I think it makes sense though.
How many
I
years does it take to turn a franchise around? How many years are you supposed to give a coach in the system to be able to show if their system is working?
I would say 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So if I'm trading a first round draft pick 5 years from now, 5 years from now, I'm giving you my first round pick. I don't even know what my coach's situation is going to be in 5 years from now. I don't even know where my franchise is going to be. 3 years is already pushing it. 5 years
Yeah,
is way too much.
but maybe but I'll say this because I think that the 5 years is like I think it's just for me. I think it'd be entertaining though. Like, chat. I don't know how you guys feel about this whole situation. I know where Joe is coming from. Would you trade Bowers for 5 first round picks? Maybe I'll probably think about it.
Yeah, but that's a trade that a horrible franchise would make, thinking that one player is going to come in and change the team, and it's going to
Yeah,
cripple their franchise for years for not having those draft picks.
yeah.
I think it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, and even the chat agrees with you. Some of them do. RJ Allen says I was down until Joe broke it down, and that makes sense. Okay, yeah, it does. Someone says that's not realistic at all. Good point. I don't think it matters as much. A team can be fine without 5 straight years without a first if they decide to do a dumb trade.
If
But
you're
I
the
feel
Rams,
I
if
mean,
you're the
but that's the
Rams,
thing. But it works for guys like you said. It works for teams like the Rams who don't care about those picks, but they could get players to win now. But then whoever is receiving those picks, maybe it'll work out for them in the future. Or say right now the Raiders for some way, some reason we got 4 first round picks, or like from different teams, right? We got 2 first round picks for the next 4 years. Say in the next 2 years we're already competing and we don't need to wait for those years to come around. Maybe we trade those extra picks to go get players to help win right now. It helps those teams. Like say the Denver Broncos, right? They just traded away their first for Jalen Waddle, but they're a team that's like a couple of moves away from maybe competing and going to the Super Bowl. I think it helps those teams out, right? Like it would help those teams out to win now, and we wouldn't have to give up capital next year. We could give capital for 2 years from now, 3 years from now, heck, 4, 5 years from now, and you could always recoup those picks when the time comes around if you have a player that's worth a first round pick. So I mean
okay,
that's where I'm at.
okay. Before Maxx Crosby, there's only been like, I don't know, less than 15 players traded for 2 first round picks. 2 first round picks or more, right? And Maxx
Yeah,
Crosby was going to join that list. Out of that list, only Jalen Ramsey and Matthew Stafford have gone on to win or advance to a Super Bowl with the Rams. The Rams are the only ones that have traded 2 first round picks for a player and actually done something with it, and it actually turned out to their benefit. They're the only team. They're the only team.
yeah,
You saw what happened with the Colts last year. They traded 2 first round picks for Sauce Gardner. They were 8-0 at the time. What they finish? 8-9 or 9-8? Like
yeah.
they nothing. Like most of these
I
are
mean, their quarterback
bad.
went down, so that probably played a part in it too.
Hell, we're the Raiders. We've had 1st round picks. We've had multiple 1st round picks, and we missed on them, and we've sucked. And now you take the 1st round picks out of the question altogether, and there's no 50-50. Like, oh, no. I
No,
mean, it works in the NBA, and I think that's what they're looking at. Because here's what the Cleveland Browns are probably thinking, because the Cleveland Browns are all analytics. They're all computer nerds in
yeah,
their
yeah,
front
yeah.
office. That they at one point they were being ran by the guy. You watch the movie Moneyball, Paul Di Podesto, the guy who
Yeah.
basically is a Jonah Hill in that movie. He was actually the GM of the front office of the Browns for a while, and now he's moved on to the Colorado Rockies. But that is the kind of nerd stuff they think. They think analytics. If we can trade this and do this, like I'm all for. Like I love trading for draft picks, and I'm all for acquiring picks. But I'm not going 5 years into the future with my team. Not when I have a. Not look at what Spytek is doing this year with the Raiders.
Yeah.
3 year contracts, 3 year contract. He's not trying to go past that because he doesn't know where he's going to be. He doesn't know where the Raiders are going to be. He doesn't know how these guys are going to work out. Nah, no.
Okay.
I mean,
Like I said, I respected those. I mean, some people, like I said, a lot of people agree with you, Joe, 100%. They say, can the Raiders sign Joe? Maybe, but I feel like Joe would probably bring this team down. I'm just joking. No, I do trust you, dude. I trust what you're saying, though. Like for me, I'm coming from like a entertainment background where it's like I think that would be entertaining. It would definitely shift a lot of things in the NFL as it pertains to trades and stuff like that. But I agree with you. I agree with you.
Raiders versus everybody saying, he goes, I think you're overlooking, you guys keep overlooking something is most teams don't know how to draft. If you have a good GM and a head coach tandem, it won't matter what draft you draft. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
what you're overlooking is I'm going to trade 3 first round picks for Maxx Crosby, right? Because that's what, say it's Maxx Crosby, 3 first round picks for this player. Now I have to pay Maxx Crosby more money because think about this: when Maxx Crosby was going to Baltimore, he was going to get a new deal too. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to pay that player for multiple years now. So not only did you lose your draft picks and you lose money on the cap, now you're paying 40-50 million dollars for this player as well. It's just overall, it's a whole bad situation.
I guess we could agree to disagree, right? I mean, like, I don't know how likely it is for the NFL to actually pass it, but it is definitely something that's interesting. It was
You
moving
know
on
what makes
from
it a good trade? Here's the only thing that makes it a good trade: you win the Super Bowl. You have to win the Super Bowl.
yeah.
And if you don't, that's it. I would give up 5 first round picks right now if you guarantee that the Raiders win the Super Bowl this year. Okay, then I'm down for it. 5 first round. I'll give up 10 first round picks, but you guarantee me that the Raiders win the Super Bowl this year. I would do that.
That's is
But there's
that
no
okay? I
guarantee.
mean, if when you're putting it like that, those if it took me giving up 5 first round picks, if like the NFL, like if Roger Goodell came to me backstage and was like, "Hey, we can run the table. We'll let you guys win in LA this year, but you guys got to give up them the 1st round picks for the next 5 years." Let's do it, Oos.
Do it.
I'm with it,
Yeah,
Oos. I'll
I'm
take
all
one
for it.
year of winning a Super Bowl and going the rest of my life without any more Super Bowl wins. Oos. If it meant giving up 5 first round picks, I mean, shoot, them 2nd round picks, hey, that's gonna be our 1st round picks right there. But I mean, if we do win the Super Bowl, our next year pick is gonna be damn near a 2nd round pick. But yeah, if you put it in that aspect, then okay, Oos,
I want
definitely.
to say the Rams have made 1 first round pick since 2017, and their
And that was
first
Jared
one
Verse, right?
is
That was
Jared
Jared
Verse.
Verse. Yep, yep. Uh,
And they tried to trade up for Brock Bowers. They were the team calling the Raiders saying, "Hey, we'll move up." That was the one guy that they were trying to get. So Jared Verse is the only guy, but
yeah,
they have made it. But look at what they've been. They've been to the Super Bowl multiple times
yeah.
and they've won it. And
And see that's where you want to be at when you're trading away those 1st round picks. It doesn't matter. Well, like the Raiders, that's why I know a lot of us Raider fans. Were I know a lot of us are going through. We have PTSDs when we look at the NFL draft from past years, especially acquiring more 1st round picks because the Raiders haven't done much. But I feel like the last couple of years, even with Tom Telesco, even with John Spytek last year, they didn't go out and surprise everybody with somebody totally off the rails. Man, you could possibly say that with Brock Bowers here and there because nobody really expected that, but it's a guy that has panned out for the Raiders. I think with this new regime moving forward, I think, well, I would trust them a lot more to hit on those picks. And I think that they were definitely given, Clint Kubiak was definitely given a layup this year because we have the number 1 overall pick. And I think everybody knows who the Raiders are going to pick. If we were picking at number 5 or 6, then that's where you're like, okay, what are you going to do? What direction are you going to do? That's definitely going to test how this new regime can draft. But I think like Reggie McKenzie that one year when with 2014, given a layup, all the picks that he had, everybody just fell into his laps. Khalil Mack fell into his laps in round 1. Derek Carr was right there in round 2 when the Houston Texans could have picked him up. But that's the type of moves that we expect from this team, and I trust them a lot more. Now
well, that's what
something
you
else
hear
that
about.
came out.
Sorry,
What?
I was saying
Go ahead. Go
that's
ahead.
what you hear. You hear from good GMs. Good GMs let the draft fall to them. They don't get caught up on 1 or 2 players.
Yeah.
They just sit there and let the draft fall to them and take what's there for them.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said like I trust them. Let me fix this up real quick. But that's what I said. Like I do trust them now. Well, I'll trust them this year. I guess that's what we feel like, right? When we do the mock drafts, the draft actually starts in round 2 for the Raiders. Unless whether they want to trade back, whether they want to move up, that 2nd round pick is going to be really crucial into knowing whether or not this new regime can actually draft and find the right players or not. So
And I think that's what excited us a little bit and made us have, made the Max trade or trade a little easier on us because we were like, oh, we got the 14th pick. Now we could do a little bit more of rebuilding. I think that's what Raider fans were looking forward to, was that 14th overall pick, because like you said, now we have the first one. We already know where we're going. We're going Fernando Mendoza. What are we doing at 36? What can we help do to build this team? And we got 9 more other picks besides that number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Now something else that came out is, according to the NFL, I seen that the NFL is laying groundwork for hiring replacement officials this season if the league is unable to agree on a new collective bargaining agreement with the NFL Refs Association. Now, this is kind of interesting because if they can't get anything done, or they can't agree upon something, there might be a lockout, right? And I think the last time this happened was back in 2012, where the Raiders, or not the Raiders, the NFL could be looking for replacement refs, and we know how that kind of panned out for the Raiders. I mean, that kind of panned out for the NFL at that time. I wanted to get your thoughts on. Did you hear about this at all, or no?
Yeah, the referee thing. Yeah, I was reading about it
Yeah,
earlier.
is there
I
anything
think
like
it. I think it. We've
it don't
already
really
seen a
matter?
season with. We've seen a season with replacement refs. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah,
I want to do it again. I don't. They just pay these. Like, I don't understand why the NFL doesn't have year-round referees. Like, why they only just pay these guys and get them out of their regular jobs, and focus on getting it correct. That's the main thing.
yeah. Just keeping the main thing, right? Yeah. I think. Well, I feel like for Raider fans, or for us Raider fans, right? It doesn't really matter because it don't matter what referees you put out there. We always gonna get the shitty end of the stick, right? But I think it was interesting to kind of bring up because that was kind of talked about today. And I know McAfee talked about it and was like, no, we do not need to bring these high school referees over here, these college referees, to try to come in and call plays, because it was totally horrible. Just get the deal done, figure something out, and move forward with it. But that being said, like, I wanna kind of talk about Maxx Crosby a little bit. I think we've talked about Maxx Crosby a lot. I think majority of the offseason since we started the show, we talked about Maxx Crosby. And we talked about Maxx Crosby yesterday on the show as well, when it pertains to him talking on his on the Rush podcast. He talked about everything, spoke out on the whole saga that went down with the Ravens trade, going over there. He flew over, didn't even get to meet the GM until like 5 hours later, and that's when they kind of told him to listen to things, and basically backed out of the whole trade. He came back home, seen all the moves that the Raiders made, was happy about it, said that he's going to stay. We know that whole ordeal. We kind of talked about it yesterday, though. But like I stated earlier, man, the rest of the NFL all put their 2 cents into everything. So I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to kind of review it real quick and get our thoughts on each and every situation. There's a lot of different people talking about it. One being Cam Hayward, former Steelers defensive tackle. I guess he spoke to Maxx Crosby as well, and had a little bit of an interesting response from Maxx Crosby when talking about the Ravens. So I thought I'd bring this one up first. Here we go. I don't know if you watched this clip yet, but I thought I played still. Let's see if we got it.
My little brother actually reached out to Maxx Crosby, and I was like, bro, I don't know if you're staying with the Raiders, but if you are, take care of my brother. Look out for him. And you know what Max's response was?
What?
He said, because I also apologized about. I said I'm sorry to hear about like the Ravens thing falling through. He was like, "Fuck those dudes. I'm staying and fucking with the Raiders." And so I was like, "All right, I can respect that." And so like, Maxx has always been like straight up with me, and I've always respected Maxx a lot. And so, I was, it's bitter. I was happy to end with the Ravens personally. I mean, selfishly for him not going to the Ravens, but. To say like he's going to be there also made me happy because he's going to be able to take care of a little brother. And I will just say the organization has been very accommodating to my little brother. I was talking last night. They're helping him, deal with the transition.
Yeah. So that said, like following that, of course, this is Connor Hayward's brother, Cam Hayward, and he kind of talked about it, and I thought it was kind of funny because it kind of goes back to how Maxx Crosby really feels, right? Because we know Maxx Crosby when stuff like this happen, he definitely has a chip on his shoulder. And I know he didn't really come out and say, fuck those dudes on his own podcast, but hearing it from somebody else's mouth, like I was like, okay, we know the type of energy that he's on going into the season. We talked about it when he made his post that we're gonna run it back and that we're gonna see the best version of him. So, it was kind of interesting to see. Did you see that clip though or no? Before today or before this?
Yeah, no, I saw this clip earlier today, I'm with it. Like, f those guys. Like, I think a lot of the league is now looking at Baltimore a little bit different and looking at the GM over there differently. And when agents call and talk to them, they have to kind of question it just a little bit more because I think we talked about it yesterday. Good for Maxx to go out there and do this podcast because the Raiders weren't going to come out there and throw the Ravens under the bus. The Ravens did a bullshit press conference and didn't give you the full story. Like we talked about, the NFL likes to try to keep everything in house, and finally we got the information out there. But like I said, it just makes the whole Ravens organization look bad. Will anything come of it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm good for Maxx to be able to clear the air with this stuff out there.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I agree with you. Now, this next clip that I seen coming from Kimberly Martin from Get Up ESPN, talking about the Maxx situation, saying that guys will be whoever for life, depending on who's signing their paycheck. So this is a bit of a different tone, on the Maxx Crosby situation.
I was just thinking all of Baltimore would be right there outside that facility. So that surprised me. Now, the question of whether he will be a Raider for life, I think guys will be whoever for life, depending on who's signing their paycheck. Maxx Crosby cares about football. So if he's a Raider, then he will give max effort for them, no pun intended, or if he had been in Baltimore. All the teams who were interested in him before, you got to be interested in him now. I understand we went through free agency, draft picks are different now, but I think all those teams have to be interested. But I don't assume that he will be on this Raiders roster, until the end of the season. We still have so much time left in this season. I was just thinking.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a different take, though. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, she's not lying. She's not lying. Whoever's signing your check, you're kind of loyal to him, and you saw it in Maxx Crosby's goodbye video when he posted that video. What did he say? Flock Nation, like he was already committed, and it's a business. You're gonna whatever, and yes, Maxx was excited to be a Raven, and he was excited to go because he thought of a new beginning. It's just like any other time. It's okay, and it is the reality of the situation, and you are getting paid by that organization, and you're going to say what needs to be said. But I think it's different this time because I think once you get humbled just a little bit, like Maxx Crosby was, it kind of makes you go, you know what? I'm staying here. Like, this is my home.
I never want to go anywhere anyways.
Well, I mean, he probably did, but
he probably did.
The only reason he got traded was because he wanted to go somewhere. But I think he got humbled. He found out, and he just said, "You know what? I'm good. I don't want to go through that bullshit again."
Yeah, and rightfully so. I listened to the rest of the podcast too, and I think he was already kind of like frustrated with the situation. It took a lot out of him, emotionally, physically, just going over that. I mean, we talked about it, right? Like, damn, 5-hour flight and 2-hour drive. That's crazy. Just for the GM not to even be there to talk to him right when he got there, right? So, like, at worst, like, even if you knew that you were going to back out of the trade or you knew that the physical wasn't going to look good, you still got to at least, show face. You still got to show up when the guy that you traded 2 first-round picks for shows up to the building and just greet him, say what's up and whatnot. But, that whole situation is kind of crazy. Now, another thing that I found interesting, like I said, like everybody and their mamas are talking about this whole situation. I don't know how long I'm gonna put this video on for, but well, you know what? I'm not even gonna put this video on because I think he talks for a while. But this is from Jason McIntyre. He was on the Herd covering for Colin Cowherd. So I don't know if you've seen this clip. Basically, he said that. Is it too hot of a take to say that the Raiders are bigger contenders for a playoff spot next year than the Baltimore Ravens are?
Oh yeah,
and as a Raider fan, of course, it's easy to be biased. It's easy to say, the Raiders are going to be a better team this next year, and anything can happen in the NFL, right? Anything can definitely happen for both teams. But as it sits right now, like, could I say that the Raiders are a better team than the Baltimore Ravens? I'm not sure, but I do believe that because my expectations for this team is pretty low. I think that if anything, we should be competing, and I think that's a different type of expectation that the Ravens have for them and their team. They're looking to win the whole thing. That's their whole thing compared to the Raiders. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the Raiders could be bigger contenders for a playoff spot than the Baltimore Ravens?
I never understood why Baltimore was making the trade, anyways, because Baltimore has a lot of questions. They have questions with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. If he is the issue there, they got a brand new young head coach in there, and I think when you look at it and you look at the long term, the Raiders have. I mean, we talked about it before. I think the Raiders have a better upside than the 49ers right now. They have a better upside than the Dallas Cowboys. They have a better upside than the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a better upside, and you can go ahead and say that they're a better upside than the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens basically backed out of this deal because they realized that they were going to give up 2 first-round picks for a non-quarterback, which is stupid, right? And they saw what the Raiders did in the offseason. They saw the Raiders picking up all these players, and they realized that they were a couple ACLs away, a couple ACL tears away from being the punchline of the NFL and letting, let's be honest, letting one of the worst teams in the last 20 years rebuild off of them. And that's what the Ravens saw and got out of it. So yeah, the Ravens know that they're right here. They're tipping. They might have already got to the top and they're on their way down, and they're trying to just get that one little push.
You're kind of breaking up right now.
But yeah, the Raiders have very one forward for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Your thing was kind of.
I already got my point across.
I already got my point. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, for me, like, I think, like, I do believe that the Raiders right now are a much better team than they were last year. But to say that they're better or going to be contenders over the Ravens, I'm not too sure. But anything can happen, and I have trust in this team that it could possibly happen. But as it sits today, I don't want to hype up this team too much because I've done that in the past, and they definitely have let me down. She did pay Joe
It's not
Moore.
about hyping up the team. It's not about talking about Super Bowl. It's not talking about playoffs. What you're talking about this season, and what we haven't seen in a while, is we're doing stuff correctly. We're being competent. We're not giving away stupid ass contracts. We're not throwing money around like to the dumb stuff. Like, you could say we overpaid for a center, but he's a 25-year-old center and was one of the best in the league. So you can say what you want about that. There's a difference between paying Javon Walker, so much money, and paying a young center. So that's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating the actual seeing our organization grow up and do the things, supposedly look at what they're doing the right way.
Yeah, no, and you make a good point, and that's why we said the only teams that complain about how much we spent for Tyler Linderbaum is the teams that didn't get him, the fans that didn't get him, because I think we would have said the same thing if we didn't get Tyler Linderbaum. But yeah, hey, JR, I'll definitely try to pay Joe more for the Wi-Fi. What do you call it? Background says, as a Raider fan, our expectations should not ever be low. We should hold our team to higher standards. If the Patriots can make the Super Bowl while going 4-13 the year before, why not us? I mean, that's why I said my expectations are low because, I mean, every year I say that the Raiders are going to go to the Super Bowl, and I think saying that as a fan, I think nothing wrong with that. But just saying it from a realistic perspective, I think that I'll take any type of improvement from last year, and if this team could be competitive, then that's more than enough for me. If they exceed those expectations, then why not? I mean, I think every year I'm gonna expect the Raiders to make the playoffs and at least get into the dance. But is it
the Patriots were gutted and thrown around, and 5 different coaches and 5 different years? You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference of what the Patriots were doing, and they cut their losses quick with Gerard Mayo after 1 year, and they didn't allow it to keep going, and they realized, like, hey, That's not what we want. They cut that early. They brought in Mike Vrabel. They hit the free agency market, and they were already a couple players away. It's not like us that we brought GM after GM after GM and coach after coach after coach, each one of them cutting players and bringing players in at their own thing. And at the end of the day, we had a roster full of players that didn't fit systems or do this, and it was just a horrible mess. And now with year 2 of John Spytek and the continuance of him being able to build the roster, and now finally being able to build the roster that he wants, with the coach that he wants, it's that's what we're talking about. That, like, to compare it to the New England situation, I think it's a whole different thing. But yes, we can, and we should be able to compete for a wild card spot this year with the way that we're going. But is it realistic? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think we're both on the same page about that because we talked about it multiple times. Again, shout out to the chat. Like he says, look, got to lower our expectations when it comes to Raiders making offseason moves, and I think so because we're. And I don't blame any Raider fans for getting hyped up because we always kind of get hyped up with certain moves. We could talk about the Christian Wilkins move. We could talk about the Chris Jones move. A lot of different moves that the Raiders have made. Even getting Devontae Adams that one year we thought Super Bowl bound,
Hey,
but the season was
5
totally
years ago
different.
today. 5 years ago today was the Devontae trade.
Damn. 5 years ago, no, wasn't that in 2022?
Or was it 4 years? 4 years. 4 years?
I think 4 years because I think
Okay,
the
whatever.
2021.
This
I
is the
remember.
anniversary of it.
Okay, it's got to be 4 years because I think 2022. That's when I moved out here and we traded for Devontae. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
so five, whatever. 4 years. I don't know. It's been.
Yeah,
It seems like after last season, it seemed like we aged like 6 years. Like
bro,
that
bro,
was horrible.
for us, and but that's why I temper my expectations because what did we think? Like we thought, getting Devontae Adams at that point was like, oh, we finally got a true number one wide receiver for Derek Carr and somebody he has a rapport with already. Who's gonna stop us, right? And I mean, a lot of teams stopped us that year. So it could go back and forth whether it was McDaniels or this guy, that guy. That's why we temper our expectation. I agree with Lecky, and that's why I always say, I'm excited for what we did, and I think this year is definitely key word with this new regime is competency. I think I said it right. But yeah, it seems like the adults are making decisions in the organized or in the room. There's a lot of adult decisions being made, and they're making a lot of great decisions from the head coaching hire, from bringing in players in free agency, and they're making the right moves and going into the NFL draft. So that's why I said I think we're going in the right direction. I'll continue to say that, but they got to show me on the field once August and September hits. We got to see a whole different team because I don't want to be like, oh, looking at mock drafts 6 weeks into the season. Shout out to Machiavelli, my Oos in here. Says salute to Joe Samoa Raider, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Juan up in the chat. See you up in here. Spectrum Internet. I don't know. The big Oos. I thought I seen somebody else in there. Yeah, everybody's blaming Josh McDaniels for that. Yeah. I understand. I think Josh McDaniels was imperfect, but I think we were slow. If we just
might have been a playoff
just
team right
trusted
now if we
the
had Josh
processes, huh?
We would have just trusted Josh McDaniels. We would have been back in the playoffs right now.
Ooh, so look at Josh McDaniels' nose. If we just have given Jimmy G a real a real chance, we would have been good right now, man. But it is what it is, Not gonna complain.
Hey, Josh McDaniels wouldn't have ran Josh Jacobs out of here.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have. He would have paid him the big bucks. But okay, this is. But this is the last. I'm just joking, guys. I know some people might be in here like, so you're saying that the Raiders can get 9 to 10 wins? They could always get 9 to 10 wins. It's just up to them if they want to get 9 to 10 wins. We're just the fans here. I can say whatever, but will they back me up?
We got a very tough schedule this year. We got a very tough schedule, but I mean,
but I feel like, but that's why I say I feel like the tough schedule. The years we have tough schedules, man, we actually show up. It was 2016 was a tough schedule.
And it's not something big for Clint Kubiak because he's coming from the NFC West and he's playing all the NFC West teams this year, which I think is kind of an advantage for him or good for him to do it because we're going to play Seattle, we're going to play San Francisco, we're going to play Arizona, and he kind of knows them and has game plan for him last year, so it kind of helps him out a little bit.
Yeah. No, I do want to get to this last thing.
She already looks like she's gonna piss me off just by.
She already looks like she's
She
gonna
already looks
piss
like
you
she's gonna piss me off right there.
off. Why? Okay, well, I mean the way she about to talk is maybe she woes, but this is something like RG3
Not
kind of
that.
spoke on this. Like I say, everybody in their mind, the way she's holding up the the way she holding it up, but like that. RG3 got in on the action. He put his 2 cents in there. He believes that the Baltimore Ravens and the Las Vegas Raiders are better after the Maxx Crosby trade didn't go through.
Do you think the Baltimore Ravens will regret not?
Okay, she already pissed me off with the voice.
It's like, hey, all right, you're done.
You were right, Oos. You were right, Oos. She already pissed us off, Oos. God damn.
Trading for Maxx Crosby.
No, the Baltimore Ravens will not regret nixing the trade for Las Vegas Raiders pass rusher Maxx Crosby for 2 reasons. One, if their concerns about his long-term health, about his knee injury are true, which I believe they are, then giving up 2 first-round picks for that is not worth it. Anyone that tells you, hey, this trade wasn't about the future, this trade was only about 26 and 27. No, it's not.
Yeah.
If you're giving up 2 first-round picks, those 2 first-round picks can affect your organization for a decade.
Absolutely.
All right. Plus, in some cases. So that's the first reason. Second reason is they got a better pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson and got to keep their 2 first-round picks. So as an organization, you fill the void of what you were trying to do with Maxx Crosby of getting you a game-changing pass rusher because you got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. And your Super Bowl window is now, okay? And you get 2 first-round picks and a strong draft for pass rushers, for playmakers that you can go ahead and use this year and next year without having to give up so much leverage. And I look at this in a way and I'm like, how can you make this make sense to the masses of the difference between a Maxx Crosby and a Trey Hendrickson? By the numbers, Hendrickson is a much more efficient pass rusher, but he's not as good of a run defender or overall disruptor on the defensive side of the ball.
It's like if you take Mariah Carey and Taylor Swift.
Okay.
That shit was fucking weak.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth right there. Like, what
did she say? She said Mariah Carey and Taylor Swift. Come on. What are we talking about? Yeah, I think she is pissing us off already. You heard the sound. Look, I put it in a soundboard. I put it in a soundboard.
That shit was fucking weak.
I needed to use it for something. I was waiting for the right moment. It was to debut the new sound I put in the soundboard. It was
as soon as you were about to play the clip, I said she already gonna piss me off. And RG3 pissed me off. Like, shut your ass up. Like, he's a Baltimore Raven. He's been in the organization. He's not gonna piss off the team that was paying him and he still wants to go back to. Like, no.
Wait, I want to see her explanation. Why this pertains to this comparison right here.
Right. Mariah Carey is known for her vocals, right?
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that Taylor Swift, I would say, is not a better vocalist than Mariah Carey, but Taylor Swift is a better show woman.
She's a better performer.
Exactly. She puts on. She's known for her. Like what is the song called that she has, the showgirl, whatever.
Yeah, she's known as a performer. When
exactly.
That shit was fucking weak.
What are you talking about? Okay, that's enough of that one. I don't think there's any more that we could talk about. That I wanted to give her a chance. I wanted to give her a chance. I wanted to see if she could put a good analogy together. But I guess that shit was weak, bro.
And that whole thing about Maxx Crosby's knee, he's 20. He's going to be 29 years old. You're not going to get 10 years out of a guy who plays 99% of the time that he's in the game. You're going to get 3 to 4 or 5 years out of him anyways. So that whole thing about, we were worried about his future is straight BS. and Robert, like this, and then they go out and sign a guy who's like 3 years older than Max and just had hip surgery. Don't tell me the BS. Robert Griffin Jr. is better than. I thought he was better than that, but no, he's not. He's
I don't think that he's really telling any lie. Well, we already know that the Ravens was BSing, but like looking at it, like this is better off for both teams. I think I do agree with that because the Raiders are better with Maxx Crosby than without Maxx Crosby. It just sucks not having that 14th overall pick and next year's first round pick, but having Maxx Crosby back on this team right now with the new players that we added definitely helps out the Raiders moving forward. For the Baltimore Ravens, yeah, they're definitely some dicks, right? Pause. But I think the way that they went about the whole thing was dumb, and I think that no team should ever work with them when it comes to trades like that. But I think for the Ravens, looking at it from a business aspect, it makes more sense for them not to give up those 2 first-round picks and might as well bring in Trey Hendrickson. Now, Trey Hendrickson, I don't think is in the same league as Maxx Crosby when it comes to a total edge rusher, but maybe as a pass rusher, he is a little bit better at getting to the quarterback, but I don't think that he's on the same level as Maxx Crosby when it comes to, all of that. And you're paying him about the same amount than you are if you were to keep Maxx Crosby. It's just, I know for a fact that I just know for a fact that they just didn't want to give up those 2 first-round picks. It is what it is. It is BS.
I feel dumber.
My bad. No.
What's that from the Adam Sandler movie where he's like, I feel dumber, and we are dumber for listening to you talk at that time. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, Mariah Carey and oh my God.
Yeah, but hey, my bad, guys. My bad. I didn't think it was gonna be that hard. I just kind of read the quote, and I was like, oh, I think there's something we could talk about for both teams,
Billy
right?
Madison, yes.
Yeah, but Gar says, here's the thing. I don't blame the Ravens for not trading 2 first for Crosby. I do blame them for fucking us over during the process and making a mockery on us. No, and I agree with you 100%. The Ravens are closer to a top 5 pick than a playoff team this year. I don't know. We'll see how the season pans out. But as far as that, like I would agree with you in the fact that
if you have the Jim Rome clip, that's a good one to play.
Oh, did he talk? Okay.
Jim Rome is that was a good one. He had one come out today, which was awesome and a good one to listen to. And he broke it down. And I know people have a different opinion over Jim Rome over the years. Like there was a time where he was on top of the world as one of the best sports guys. But I still liked listening to him. But his clip was pretty good.
Oh, I'm talking about the Maxx Crosby situation.
It's just him by himself, though. It's just. I don't know if I can find it real quick, but I don't know if anybody.
Okay, right here. I got it. Don't worry. I'm on it. I'm on it like phonics. Here we go.
I believe.
Okay, hold on. We got Jim Rome up in the building. Let's hear what he has to say because this is gonna be the first time I hear it as well. This one.
Yeah.
Who do you believe?
Well, hold on.
Who do you believe? I believe Maxx Crosby over Eric DeCosta based on what I've heard from both of them. I'm comparing the Ravens presser to Max's pod. His word against his word. Who do you believe?
Yeah.
Like, you can accuse the Raiders of being dysfunctional as hell, but you can't accuse them of being snakes and welches. But I think you can accuse the Ravens of that right now.
Yeah.
Again, didn't do anything illegal. But what I'm saying is that is dirty pool, and I would not trust them. And I'd say one more thing. If Trey Hendrickson was not available, I bet Max's knee would have been just fine.
Come on.
I bet the medical evaluations would have read differently if Hendrickson was not available at that same price and they got to keep their picks.
Perfect.
Told you.
But that's what we said though. Like I talked about the day after the whole thing went down, right? That was what a lot of people were saying. Like, would Maxx Crosby still be a Raven today if Trey Hendrickson wasn't available? Who knows? And I think that's one main reason why a lot of people want to get rid of the whole tampering period, because we wouldn't have to worry about stuff like this. But teams were looking at Trey Hendrickson. Like, this affected not only the Raiders and the Ravens, but affected a lot of other teams in trying to get a Trey Hendrickson or trying to trade for somebody like Maxx Crosby. But, I agree with Jim Rome 100% on this one, those.
But here's what I'm going to say. Thank you to the Baltimore Ravens. We spent a lot of time on this, and when we talked about it, we beat it down as much as we can. But at the end of the day, it's a thank you. It's a thank you to Baltimore, because We get to keep Maxx Crosby. We get
Yeah.
to see what he could do with Quay Walker, N'Kobe Dean, Kwity Paye,
Oof.
and everybody else that we're adding to this.
Come
Not only
on.
that, we took your damn center, and I think the Baltimore is
Stole him.
looking at Baltimore is building their team with Mentor in mind, and they're basically giving Lamar Jackson a short leash when really they should have been focusing on their offensive line like we're focusing on ours a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think this is a blessing in disguise for the Raiders, and I'm all for it, and I'm all for keeping Max, and let's run with it. Let's run with it.
But that's the even better thing, like that, and that's why I go back to what RG3 said. I think for the Raiders side of things and being a Raider fan and looking at it, I think that they're much happier with this version of Maxx Crosby than the one that we shipped off, because now we got a pissed off Maxx Crosby. We got a Maxx Crosby like we stayed. I mean, I brought it up in the clip earlier when Cam was talking about the whole situation. Was like, Max was like, man, fuck those guys, and I think that's the type of energy that he's going to be on this year when he goes out there, because this basically just showed. We talked about it before. The Ravens didn't think that he was worth the 2 first-round picks that they gave up for him after everything that went down. But hey, it's gonna play out in the Raiders' favor. And going into the season, if the Raiders have a much better record than the Ravens, then hey, that's the biggest FU to them. And we talked about it. You brought it up. Shout out to my host, All in All to Win. He brought it up as well. It was like, all we can do now is go out there and just win. Just go out and win and just show that, hey, you know what? We ain't effing around. We got the team that we want and intact right now. And shout out to Jim Rome for even bringing this whole situation up, though.
Yeah,
But
I think Jim Rowe. That's what I forgot about that episode. Once I saw that, I was like, yeah, he broke it down 100%.
yeah, perfectly. Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, Baltimore's gonna have a bum center now. Yeah, we got the center. We like you said, like that's the whole point of Baltimore making this trade, was because they thought they were close to their Super Bowl run. And that was the whole point of the Raiders doing it. I think we talked about this yesterday. Us bringing Max back, does it elevate? Does it push our rebuild forward just a little bit, because now we have that player, now we have that badass guy? I think
Yeah.
it does. I think it pushes it a little bit, just a little bit,
Yeah.
but not completely. But I think having Max back helps. And look at our roster just in a month, how good we are now compared
Much
to even
better.
last year. Like the depth, they're adding players, they're adding starters, and it's only going to get better. We got 10 draft picks where I don't know if we'll walk away with the draft with 10, but I know that John Spytek, he showed last year that he loves playing the draft board, and he'll move up and down if he needs to, something we haven't seen from a general manager in a while. That's the best part about it, is John Spytek is not afraid to go out there and do what he thinks is right for his team. And now that he has full control, it's going to be a different way and different way to see him build his team. And I'm all for it.
No, exactly. So, and I agree with you that I agree with you on that 100%. And that's why I'm happy with this team and the moves that they made and everything that they've been doing. A+, bringing back Maxx Crosby, and whether or not he had a choice, I think just him coming over here with that chip on his shoulder is going to make this team much, much better.
I like Filipino Raiders. He said, in the words of Paul Heyman, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Raiders versus Ravens, wild card round. Raiders win and advance to the next round.
Come on, man. Hey, we got to finish our story. Our story just begun.
I thought he was going to say, in the words of Paul Heyman, FAFO.
Fuck around and find out, Oos. Come on, man.
Right? And then Brock Lesnar can be walking out. Boom, boom. It's just Maxx Crosby.
Oh, I mean, they unleashed they unleashed the Undertaker over here. Oos. The way that's what he said. He came out like the dead man coming back to the facility. But Oos, that brings me to my last thing. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that has been a part of today's episode. Oos. It's been good. But we wanted to end off on something fun. We wanted to do something fun. It's always serious over here in the Raider Nation. But I wanted to do something a little different. Now, this is a randomized. This is a generator. It's basically, we're going to be generating. Let me see if I pull it up on the other format. It's changed. Oh, that's not too bad right there. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do here. Let me see if I could make it bigger. Pause.
You're gonna make it bigger? All
Make
right.
it bigger. That's what she said.
Oh. Oh.
Hello. Okay, here we go. Come on. Right there. That's the sweet spot right there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build our team right here, a 17-0 team. I'm gonna pick my team. Joe's gonna pick his team, and we're gonna go with NFL players today. So this is gonna be a really
active NFL
players. I think, or should we do all time?
No. We can do active today. What are we doing?
We'll do active today. Okay, we'll do active today. So it's going to randomize it, pick a team, and we got to pick a player for that team. Here's the positions: a quarterback, a running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a defense, and a head coach. So you got that down, Joe?
Defense, head coach. So quarterback, running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a defense, and a head coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, but yeah, shout out to my boy Dodger. He said, I wonder what FAFO meant. Well, now you know. But if you guys haven't already, man, hit that like button up in the chat right now. It takes a little bit of time. There's a lot for the channel, but we're gonna hop into this one. I'll let Joe be the first one, and then I'll pick mine's next. So Joe, your first team will be. Ooh, you got the LA Rams. What are we going with?
I'm taking Sean McVay.
Oh, coach, that's not bad. McVay. Okay, that's a good start, dude. So I'll give you that one. All right, who do I got? Oh, I think this is Jay Jettas. Let's go. Wide receiver 1, bro. Jay Jeff.
Now,
all
can
right.
I pick the same players, or does it matter?
No. What we'll do? No, same players.
Okay, so you pick JJ.
I pick JJ. JJ.
So I can't pick Justin Jefferson. Okay, cool. So we're gonna compare our teams against each other.
Yeah, we're gonna compare our teams. I'm gonna ask the chat too. Oh, we got the New England Patriots, Zeus.
Damn it. Okay. Damn, that's a tough one. That's
They got a good quarterback.
I know that's like the only thing. Do I want to do? I'll just, you know what? I'll take their defense.
Oh, their defense. Okay, pass defense. I like that. All right. Let's see who I get next. Here we go. Oh, New Orleans. What do they got that I want?
Let's see. Their quarterback is.
No, I ain't going quarterback. No, that's that.
They got Travis Etienne or Achan now is what his name is.
I'm gonna go with Chris Olave.
Olave.
I'll go Chris Olave. That's 2 of my wide receivers right there. It's not a bad wide receiver crew. We got Jay Jettas and Olave. But here we go. Joe got the Commanders.
Damn it. I'll take Jaden Daniels.
Okay. Daniels. That's not bad. You haven't even got none of your positions yet, but not bad at all. Here we go. I got the Green Bay Packers. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's 2 options for me. I'm gonna go Jacobs. Let's go get Jacobs. My boy. Got Josh Jacobs right there.
All right.
I could have went their defense though, but
no, you're better off Jacobs than their defense than that defense.
We got Broncos. Oh no, that's a defense right there. No, that's a defense right there.
Yeah, that would have been the one to use either earlier, huh? Damn. I guess I'll take their new wide receiver. I'll take Waddle.
Ooh, Waddle, new addition. Wide receiver 1 right there. Okay. Here we go. I'm liking my team so far. Come on, give me the Raiders. Ooh, Titans. Now that
This is where you have fun right here.
This one's kind of
that's the one you're like, oh,
I could go 2 ways with this one. It was who they tied in? Okay, Rick. Oh, what was his name?
Helm is their tight end right now.
Okay, never mind. Their defense is kind of trash. Coach,
Have,
Robert Saleh.
You don't need wide receiver. You don't need Cam Ward would be.
Yeah, I
defense is kind of so. Robert Saleh would probably be your best option from that team.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Saleh. 'Cause I was thinking about Cam Ward, but I'm gonna hold out that quarterback position. I feel kind of lucky though, so we'll go with Robert Saleh as my head coach. You got the Commanders again.
Washington again? You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be kidding me! Like
there we go.
So I'm already like, damn! I already took like the best player from them. So,
hey, the good thing for you, they got multiple good players, Zeus.
Dude, I don't want another player from them. I don't want. I guess I'm taking Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry. Okay.
I mean, I don't know who else to take from him. Like that's the best one.
They got their defense.
I'm definitely not going 17. No, I'm definitely not going 17.
Oh, the Detroit Lions. Let's go. Oh shoot. Oh, I already got Jake. Oh no, you know what? Lions. I'll go with is it what was his face? Laporta?
All right.
Right? Oh, they got another one. No, Laporta's the guy.
Yeah,
I'll go Laporta. Sam Laporta. Here we go. You're your player. The Niners, Zeus.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey. All right. Cool.
Oh, there we go. McCaffrey, CMC.
I could have gone either way. I could have took tight end there. I could have took running back.
Oh, with Kittle. Yeah.
I'm going to go CMC.
Now, I only got a defense and a quarterback now. Oh.
Yes!
All right, F it.
You want Cam Ward or you want their defense?
I'm getting their defense. I'm holding out on that quarterback who's okay. You got. Oh, this your last one. You got a tight end. I'm holding out.
Right here, huh?
Okay, here we go. Tight end. Your tight end is gonna be for this team, Moose. Who will it be? Oh,
okay. Loveland, huh?
Colston Loveland. Okay, Oos. I dig that one. Colston Loveland. Now my quarterback. Please do not be the Jets, Oos. My quarterback will be.
Come on.
Oh, hey, let's go. Good stuff. I held out. It was Lamar Jackson. Come on now.
They kept showing that Raider one, and I was like,
hey, I know. Hey, that Raider one is.
You're going to get stuck with AOC because he's the only
one.
I
can't. Yeah, because I can't say Fernando, huh? I can't say somebody. Garza is incoming. Geno Smith for quarterback. That would have been crazy. I would have picked the backup. Who's after that? Those Jacoby Barber. Hey, who's so okay? I think we played all that ish I was talking about. The Baltimore Ravens came in the clutch for me at the end. So here's how the teams are looking right now. My team. Quarterback, Lamar Jackson. Running back, Josh Jacobs. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson and Chris Olave. My tight end is Sam Laporta. My defense is the Titans. And my head coach is Robert Saleh. Now, Joe's team right here is Jaden Daniels at quarterback, CMC at running back, Jalen Waddle and Scary Terry at wide receiver, Colston Loveland at tight end, Patriots defense, and head coach Sean McVay. I think Raider Nation, let us know how y'all feel down in the comments below about these two teams. I'll probably put this and put it together and put it on Instagram as well. But hey, I feel good about my team though.
Your team got to score a lot of points. Good thing.
Our defense with Jeffrey Simmons. Don't worry, one man wrecking crew right there. Vince said that's your team. Dang, okay. Nobody want to go for my team, cuz.
Well, I think the Titans got you, and I think I got one of the best coaches that you can get in Sean McVay, and he could do anything with talent.
Yeah, I could, man. I like it though. Joe's got it. McVay versus Saleh is ironic. Oh, that is ironic. That is kind of ironic right there. Joe's too. Okay. As far as some of the comments right now, I guess Joe got a better team than me, but who cares? I'm gonna post it on Instagram and let's see who has a better team, me or Joe. But I think this one was pretty cool, though. This one was pretty cool. But, that being said, shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody that joined today's show, man. It was fun. I know a lot of people talk about RG3. It is what it is. But, hey, I feel good about the team moving forward. Maxx Crosby is a Raider through and through right now. It is what it is. It's good to hear from him and good to hear his side of things. And also, Joe Flacco, that was another thing that we talked about. Possibly being the mentor quarterback for Fernando Mendoza moving forward. But overall, I think the Raiders are definitely trending in the right direction as of right now. John Rader says, that was cool. Thank you, man. Thank you.
We could do it more often. We could do it again.
We definitely could. We definitely could. I seen it. I was like, we got to do this. This is going to be kind of fun. So I'll try to put it together and do more games like that, though. But, Os.
Hey, I don't know if you heard this, but people have compared me and you to Mariah Carey and Taylor Swift. Like,
Hey,
I don't know
come
if you know
on.
that, but there has been a comparison.
That shit was fucking weak.
With Zeke. With Zeke. But yeah, hey, I don't know about that comparison, but hey, shout out to everybody and anybody that's watching on the Samoan Raiders show channel as well. We might switch up the how we run the shows and maybe the days and the time, just kind of going off of our schedules and stuff like that. And I got to edit a lot of things, and I think that the night schedule kind of works out. But that being said, though, we actually are going to be live. We have a special guest on Friday night with Levi Edwards from the Raiders. We're going to talk with him, get his insights on everything and how he feels about the team, some of the moves and whatnot, and just talk about the Raiders through and through, though. But I appreciate everyone, man. Shout out to Vince up in here, says, salute to you guys. I must say that you guys and Graph and Wasted, best creators, man. I appreciate it, dudes. And shout out to those Usos as well. Those are my guys. I might show up on Wasted's channel sometime soon. He hit me up. So I'm going to see when I could get on. Shout out to Keanu. He says, love your content, gents. Keep them coming. Appreciate it. Filipino Raiders says, 2016 Oakland Raiders defense versus 2026 Las Vegas Raiders defense. Who would you pick? Ooh. Now, we can't really say nothing. Oh, you know what? I'm picking 2026 because that 2016 defense wasn't really all
That
bad.
20, I was going to say that 2016 defense was trash.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Khalil Mack and Reggie Nelson, I guess, it wasn't really that good. But this year, we say it all the time. When we got Christian Wilkins, we thought we were going to be top 10 defense, but it is what it is.
We got 36 kisses from him.
Okay, pause. But hey, shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody up in here, man. Until the next one, man, we are out of here.